All right, cool. Well, I'll just go with it then. But stuff sounds balanced enough out there? All right. Yo, patio homies, come hang. I'm entertaining, I promise. I'm getting character. Good evening, friends. This is Wounded Animal. And I'd like to begin our time together this evening by addressing the plight of the predator in this Anthropocene era. You see, at some point, humans decided that we were the only ones who were allowed to kill things. And ever since then, the wolves, the bears, the mountain lions have been beating a long retreat. But there is one creature that continues to hold the line, that is taking the fight to the streets, and that is the noble coyote.
Silhouetted in the twilight, a lanky shadow slipping out of sight. You don't know where we disappear to. We're always near, but we always get away from you. You never knew quite what to do with us. We put up walls to keep us out, we jump them easily. The borders you drew on the map are all imaginary. Barriers are just a game to us. We're far too clever, and that's why you think we're dangerous. We don't respect your boundaries. We'll find our dinners where we please. Slip between your fencing pickets and eat up all your tender chickens out. Oh, what a feast! We're happy here in the belly of the beast. Oh, what a feast! We're right at home in the belly of the beast. Hey-yo, hey-yo, hey-yo. Hey-yo. You set out toothy traps and hidden snares, cruel devices meant to catch us unawares. You might get 1 or 2 or even 12 or 26, but hundreds more of us are still evading all your tricks. You'll never capture all of us, 'cause we're too numerous to do away with. While you were plotting, we filled our dens with furry babies. You know that love is radical resistance. For all you kill, we just bring more into existence. Despite the traps you humans make, we populate the landscape with bears, yeah, with pups of 20, boys of 12, and we'll make 20, oh, what a feast. We're happy here in the belly of the beast. Oh, what a feast. We're right at home in the belly of the beast. Hey-yo, 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 hey-yo. The West may not be wild, but it still belongs to us. And we are unapologetically carnivorous. Where we roam, suburban mothers fear to tread. So we'll come to your yard to eat your fat chihuahuas there instead. Delicious. Your koi pond has been emptied of its fishes. And though you lock your doors and windows tight, we'll gobble up your cats and vanish in the night. We are feral marginalia, the rogues of animalia, the trickster that you can't contain, the canine that you'll never tame. Oh, what a feast! We're happy here in the belly of the beast. Oh, what a feast! We're right at home in the belly of the beast. Oh, 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 woo!
Thank you. I'd like to dedicate this next song to gracious hosts on this trip, Dr. Drexel. You see, before the invention of anesthesia in 1846, The most important thing about a surgeon was how quickly they could operate because the patient was catastrophically lucid. And on that basis, Dr. Robert Liston made a name for himself as the fastest surgeon in the land. People would travel from far and wide to watch him live amputate a limb from start to finish in under 2 minutes. But there are hazards to working so quickly. On one occasion, Dr. Liston amputated 2 of his assistant's fingers along with the patient's leg. This led the patient to bleed to death, the assistant to bleed to death, and a spectator to die of shock, making it the only known surgery with a 300% mortality rate.
Enrolled in the academy, conducted autopsies, I studied gross anatomy. That education was the bedrock of my fame. This swift and steady hand has won remarkable acclaim. I take the cases that the other surgeons wouldn't touch. The absence of ambition is why they never amount to much. I've never blanched at visceral displays. I'm an artist, and the operating theater is my stage. Time to waste, you know it takes decisive moves to operate. Your leg's in such a sorry state, we're gonna have to amputate. No time to waste, you know it takes decisive moves to operate. Your leg's in such a sorry state, we're gonna have to amputate. So nurses, keep your fingers clear, we can't have surplus digits here, or you may feel the tickle of a scalpel. The saw can't differentiate between your limbs and someone else's. Maybe standing back would be more helpful. Cause flesh is flesh, I can attest. The spray of blood across my vest is like a badge that marks my erudition. I've done this surgery before, 100 times and maybe more. I know my business well, trust your physician. No time to waste, you know it takes decisive moves to operate. Your leg's in such a sorry state, we're gonna have to amputate. No time to waste, you know it takes decisive moves to operate. Your leg's in such a sorry state, we're gonna have to cut it off, 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 cut it off. We'll make our incision here, above the sartorius. Scalpel? While we're young, please. You're gonna have to learn to keep up. You fucking amateurs! No time to waste, you know it takes decisive moves to operate. Your leg's in such a sorry state, we're gonna cut it off! So now, assistant, if you please, put sutures in these arteries. My work is done in just 100 seconds. I hope this patient does survive being so vivisectified. But if the angels call on him to go, perhaps my work was just a bit too slow. All right. So, I haven't made a public appearance in some time, which means that you lovely folks are getting treated to a couple of Wounded Animal world premieres. And this is one of those. Brand spanking new song, and it's a timeless love story.
On the one hand, you have Juliet, and over here you have Norman. You see, Norman is a mule. And when a mule looks at a horse like Juliet, oh, they see a goddess. And so when we go out riding, my beautiful, sophisticated wife, she rides Juliet the mare, and me, I ride Norman. And those of you who are seeing a parallel there have got the right idea.
I remember the day like it was yesterday. They brought me up to your corral and opened up the gate. I stepped inside. I saw an angel. And Juliet was that angel's name. Ever since then, I've followed behind you, just to look at you and to remind you that I'm a mule and you're a mare. I'm blinded by your elegance and grace. Excuse me if I stare. I could watch you trot for hours and you'd still look fresh and sweet. And if you should start to canter, my captivated heart would skip a beat. You're a mare and I'm a mule. When you come round the paddock, I start acting like a love-struck fool. So if I sidle close and try to nibble on your neck, it's because I haven't found a better way to satisfy this yearning yet. I never knew devotion until I first laid eyes on Juliet. You're a mare and I'm a mule. And in the sunset light, your coat is shining like a precious jewel. The scent of you intoxicates me even through the fence. Yes, the feeling you inspire goes beyond mere love to holy reverence. I'm a mule and you're a mare. For you I wish I could be suave and debonair. But with this belly I keep fed, poking out between my stirrups, and the long ears on this blocky head, I'd better be dependable instead. And so I stop to ask myself, what can I offer to my Juliet? Well, I'm sure-footed in the hills. There ain't no rattlesnake can spook me off the trail. And when the desert winds are blowing, I'll stand in front of you to shield you from the gale. You're a mule and you're a mare. My moments may be few and far between, but best believe they're there. And whether you'd admit it, I think that we make quite a handsome pair. If someone would grab me some more water, I would really appreciate that. That'd be nice. All right, another tall tale for you. Thank you.
Thanks, Juliet.
Now, the Side-Hill Gouger is an elusive resident of the Appalachian Range, though I hear tell of a cousin who resides in the Ozarks. The Side-Hill Gouger, being adapted to those slopes, is a creature born with one leg short and the other long, which permits it to traverse the steep mountainside unimpeded. On flatter land, however, these quiet animals simply fall over. This consigns each one to its native mountain, which it circles around and around for all its days. Unless it meets another gouger with the opposite short leg and the opposite long leg, and they can lean on one another. Arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder, they might just stagger out across the plains.
Heavy-handed on the left side, a little flimsy on the right. Got no thumbs on these paws, but they work all right. Got one foot that's good for digging, the other foot ain't good for jack. But this crooked body suits me, ain't no ground round here flat. Hillside like my parents that preceded me. I walked the circle set out by my distinguished ancestry. I never thought another hill could hold any appeal, so I put one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. But I'm still standing on the same damn hill. Met a female down the creek side, a real impressive specimen. Must have been love in the water, cause I fell right in. A mate is meant to be a matchup, so I couldn't help but check. Her stronger leg was on the right side and the weak one on the left. Always taught me that we can abide the opposite, but when I look in her eyes, I think that's half the thrill of it. We meet at midnight on a trail that winds around both sides, dancing one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. We'll make a hard road in this here hill. Hear the revving of a chainsaw, a hoot and holler from the man. I ain't never had a foe before, but they don't sound like friends. I call upon my brawny lady with her righteous muscled thigh. If I can match it with my partner, we might make it out alive. My arms around her, then I push against her abdomen. We stood up then, fell down then, pushed on to stand back up again. We learned to walk so clumsily, but then we got the hang of putting one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, and we ain't never going back to them goddamn hills. Thanks, y'all. Can I stick two more?
Oh, man.
Does that work?
I'm going to keep time. Sure, yeah. Let's go with yeah.
I'll take it. All right, here's another world premiere for you. In the waterways of Eastern Europe, you might encounter a spirit called a rusalka. And many a lonely young man and woman has been drowned by the rusalki. But they're not strong. They're not vicious. No, the power of the rusalki is that they know in your heart of hearts you want to come with them.
at the edge of the river, in the crook of a hollow tree. The water doesn't move there. It's as calm, it's as smooth, it's as quiet as can be. And if you linger there, green eyes may rise to meet your stare. For in the quiet water, the Rusalki wait for thee. Just below the glassy surface, how they long for company. So dip your fingers in the water, like they're calling you to do. A quiet place to drown your sorrows, or a place for your sorrows to drown you. The churn and the rapids brings the chaos and the noise, and the fishermen throw their barbs, wayward boys with deadly toys. Feel the hook in your cheek. You always knew this world has got a nasty streak. Even here in the shallows, feel the current take your feet. Feel the undertow drag you where it's violent, fast, and deep. You can flail, you can swim. Against your struggling, the river always wins. But in the quiet water, the Rusalki wait for thee. And if you should like to join them, they invite you to be free. So dip your fingers in the water, like they're calling you to do. A quiet place to drown your sorrows, or a place for your sorrows to drown you. They used to be like you, full of fear and ennui, and the barbs of the fishermen pierced their bodies ruthlessly. Then they learned how to float below the quiet water. They protect their souls. There's no current, no rapids. There's no chaos and no noise. You don't have to struggle. There's no current to drag you down. You know, I went there myself. Below the quiet water, I found suffering dispelled. So come join us. Come join us. Come join us. Come join us. We can feel your desire, how the silence calls your name. In the crook of our hollow tree, you can be exempt from pain. Isn't that what you need? Come join us underwater for a well-deserved reprieve. Here in the quiet water, we can show you what to do. A quiet place to drown your sorrows, or a place for your sorrows to drown you. This time it's your sorrows that drown you. Don't you want a place for your sorrows to drown you?
Thanks, y'all. This is going to be my last one. It's been an absolute delight here at the Covert Cafe. And I do appreciate everyone else who has played, and Arden for organizing this. It's just all around rad. That said, I have various wares for sale If you want a patch or an art print or a sticker, the stickers are free. You can have a sticker. But that's not really what I'm here selling. I have a more ambitious business venture here for you. What I am offering for you this evening is nothing short of salvation. You see, I think we can all agree that this planet is 100% well and truly fucked. It's all over, folks. The jig is up, and soon enough, we're going to have to pay the bill that comes due. But in today's busy modern age, who really has the time for proper doomsday prepping? Not you, not you, not you. But I have taken all of the time and effort out of it for you. I am here to offer you condos for the apocalypse. Call them end time shares, if you will. And if that's the sort of thing that appeals to you, which is to say if you're a realistic and reasonable person, you can feel free to speak with me after the show about your investment. Soldiers of fortune are forming their factions, armed to the teeth, and they're itching for action. But going off to shoot someone else tends to end with bullets in yourself. So rather than facing the enemy, we're focused on security. Critics say simple tripwires are ineffective and uninspired, but I say why be picky? Use it all. Building booby traps and snares is just my kind of well-prepared. Who knows what merciless attacks they could forestall? I'll be the first one to admit society has gone to shit. That's why I plan ahead for our defense. There's no better place to be than in a bunker, you and me, encircled by a razor wire fence. Here in the compound, the one that I'll found, for your safety and protection from the global insurrection. Yes, the compound, you know the one. The hardest part about the end of the world is pretending we're not having fun. Our guys have thought of everything, let me tell ya. Paramilitary raids with AR-15s and grenades are no match for the minefield I installed. For those who make it through, have I got a surprise for you? I put some motion sensor turrets in the walls. You can call it paranoia, but don't say I didn't warn ya. When you need a place to hide from the marauders at your door, your best hope for the apocalypse is right here at your fingertips. Just sign up and don't worry anymore. You're in the compound, the one that all found. We're accepting applications to survive the devastation. Yes, the compound, you know the one. The hardest part about the end of the world is pretending we're not having fun. I'm not scared. The solution is to just be well prepared. The end is nigh. But be aware that if you all should somehow die, the terms and conditions still apply. But you're in good hands, I can assure you. We'll dig a moat around the base and fill it with venomous snakes. I hear a viper makes a lovely pet. And if trespassers get inside, the doorknobs are electrified. A stimulation that I'm sure they will regret. We'll dig a tiger pit behind the back entrance and won't omit the jagged wooden stakes to break the fall. That's just the kind of trick we need to guarantee security. It's all here in the commune protocols. Here in the compound, the one that all found. We're a stable institution in the midst of revolution. Yes, the compound, you know the one. The hardest part about the end of the world is pretending we're not having fun. Thank you all. This was Wounded Animal. Y'all stay safe, tip your bartenders, and remember, if you don't sin, Jesus died for nothing.